Are you able to also appreciate the children you have or you are alleged to have fathered with Messi, Goham, Matongo? But before that, again, I need to be a little bit careful because this matter I know for sure that is in the court of law. So what I'm asking you is not a matter which is in court, but more like a response coming from your colleague, Chilufiatali, who is trying to simplify this process by challenging you that, Honorable Lusambo, why do you want to trouble a poor woman like Messi, Koham, and the children, or innocent children? You know, why can't you simplify it? Just go and conduct a DNA test.
Well, thank you very much, Innocent, and viewers out there. You know, it's very interesting that you want me to answer this gentleman on the issue, which I don't even know. I'm not a common guy, okay? I am a former minister for Lusaka province and former minister for Copperbelt province. I've been serving.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Z Corner Community TV station. And we are back at it again. We are going to be talking about a lot of things. Amongst the topics that we're going to be discussing are the following: is PF able to rebrand? Have they managed to successfully rebrand, or are they in the process of rebranding? Number two, Zambia's political regional blocks and the voting patterns and what we can learn from Zambia's past. So these are the things that we are going to be talking about. And of course, I'm going to be looking forward to hearing your explanations, your comments, your contributions, and so on and so forth. And then we're also going to be talking about the Kabwata by-elections, because on the 3rd of February, right, it's really going to be hot in Kabwata. And this is a very crucial by-election, because Kabwata constituency is a very, very big constituency, and it is going to certify the political atmosphere going on forward. And of course, we've obviously had previous by-elections where we saw the UPND emerge victorious, and there has been some developments coming through from the Patriotic Front where the MPs for the Patriotic Front are seemingly reluctant to participate and just basically take their political party to the next level. So are we seeing the beginning of the decline of popularity internally and externally with regards to the Patriotic Front? And then we're also going to be talking about the mining, which is allegedly going to commence in the lower Zambezi National Park. A lot of Zambians have been giving their opinions. The new Dawn government have distanced themselves from the recent developments because allegedly, or rather reportedly, they have nothing to do with this, because this is an outcome that has been in the works, and it has obviously been the Patriotic Front's doing, and these are the current sort of results / outcomes that we are seeing at this particular moment. Lastly, we are going to be talking about the fact that the Energy Regulation Board did reduce the fuel prices. What are Zambians thinking about the reduced fuel prices? Is this what we were expecting when Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, Mrs. Nalumango, when she said we're going to reduce the prices once we increase? So is this particular formula working? So these are the many topics that I'm going to be looking forward to discussing with you, because I want to hear your opinions. And as usual, you already know what to do. In case you want to be part of this particular live stream, please use the link in the comment section below, because you can get to have access to this particular platform by simply participating, because your voice is very, very important. And of course, I'm going to be looking forward to hearing your responses, your contributions in the comment section, because we are going to have a live discussion with my panelists. And I also invite you to be part of this particular live stream. So kindly share this video before we jump into the nitty-gritty details. Share it everywhere. Tag everybody. Make sure that you share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. So I can see some comments rolling through. And Jack Dredd says, Mike Chinjili. Okay, these are the comments coming through. Idris Ishak says, what channel on DSTV or Topstar? All right, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, some of the comments are a little bit weird right now. Young ABC Abel says, watching you from Nsumbu. Where is Nsumbu? I've never heard of Nsumbu. Good evening, Muna. Good evening. McDonald says, PF is gone and dead. If you wish to come back, all bad seeds like Bowman should retire. So do you think people like Bowman have got the capability to rebrand or change? Because a lot of people didn't really take his comments lightly with regards to the perfume statement. All right, and I do understand for a fact that, you see, Honorable Bowman Lusambo is a very privileged person, and in Zambia not a lot of people are privileged. So previously he was under fire for saying, you know, what is 2 million kwacha? I give my family, or rather my kids, to use 2 million kwacha to spend as you know, grocery expenses, etc. So some of those statements didn't really resonate well with the people of Zambia, right? And we have seen a 2022 version of that particular statement where he was saying that his wife has got, you know, perfume which is very expensive. And yes, that is a very normal statement in all other parts of the world, especially in developed countries, because you know, a normal perfume is around $200, 250 etc, and that is just a basic level type of perfume. But uttering such a statement where the majority of people, or rather where the majority of the citizens don't really have, you know, that privilege, could be a little bit offensive. So this is one of the reasons why I do understand where the honorable is coming from, where Bowman Lusambo is coming from, because that's his lifestyle. He's able to afford, you know, such perfume, etc. But the majority of people, and I keep on saying that it is very vital to always read the room of the temperature. I mean, if you're amongst your rich friends, it's very, you know, you can utter such statements, you can say all that stuff. But when you talk about the majority of the people going through a lot of hardships, and right now the economy is really biting, and a lot of people don't really have a lot of, you know, good things going on. So it is a little bit demeaning to the majority of the people. So this is one of the reasons why people are saying, look, how the hell is the Patriotic Front going to be able to rebrand when we have staunch PF members basically doing what they were doing? So this is one of the reasons why I am asking this question to you. Do you think the Patriotic Front is able to rebrand? So as I wait for everybody to join, if you want to be part of this conversation, kindly check the link which I'm posting right now. I can see a lot of comments coming through. Mona, you don't respond to emails. I do respond to emails. Actually, today I was responding to my emails. Okay, so I will take a look at my email. Miss Mayovo, I will definitely respond to you very soon. So I would definitely do that. So Sandech Sanga says, watching you from Kitwe. Abena Kitwe, Munishani. Watching you from Lilanda. Evening, Mona, let's get interactive. So yeah, let's get interactive. Willie Sonda, she kindly join, and let's have this conversation, because we've got a lot of things to talk about. And I really want to talk about the regional blocks with regards to how Zambians choose leaders. And I know this is a very sensitive topic, because a lot of shallow-minded people are just going to basically brush up this conversation and say, tribalism this, tribalism that. But if you had to remove all your emotions, and if you had to analyze Zambia's history, right, there is a certain pattern, and there are different political regional blocks. And this is what we need to talk about. We're going to go in the past. Let's talk about how, you know, the previous cabinets, the previous government officials since 1964, how everything was structured. We're going to look at the MMD regime. Well, we're going to look at the UNIP regime. We're also going to look at the UPND regime, because this is very important, especially for all you political science enthusiasts. Yeah, if you guys really love political science, right, you obviously understand that politics is a science, you know, and there's obviously certain things that need to be done in order for you to get certain results. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about. So I'm waiting for all the panelists right now. In the meantime, kindly share this video, let it go everywhere, so I can see some people rolling through. Welcome, sir. How are you doing? Awesome. Asan Banda, welcome to the show. All right, it seems he's not ready. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you do join this program, please make sure you are ready. Make sure you are sober. And of course, I always love having spontaneous questions. I'm not just going to ask you the same things over and over. So this is one of the reasons why I love people being on their tippy toes and people just being sharp like that. So if you come through to the program, just be prepared, just be sharp, because by the end of the day, a lot of people are definitely watching us right now. So while waiting for some more people, I don't know whether Asan Banda is still going to be able to make it. Well, let's kick him out and let's allow some more people to join. So continue sharing this video and let's get down to business. So let's watch Honorable Lusambo's remarks when he was at Movie TV.
Kabushi constituency, and this is my second term. So answering to issues out there, I have to be very careful, because I'm not just a common person. Okay, I've been a government official of this beautiful republic of Zambia, and when you start answering to
so we have another comment coming through from Andrew Senior Mwakoi. He says, disappointed with Bowman Lusambo mocking marketeers on the road. How do you feel when you hear someone bragging about perfume when others are sleeping without food? So this is what I talked about, right? It's always very important to understand the atmosphere of your environment. Even though you are privileged, even though you've got the financial capabilities, right? Just keep it to yourself, because if you end up, of course, talking about your lifestyle, it's just going to come off as being sort of pompous, or you're being insensitive. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying it is very important to always be mindful about the things that you talk about, especially in public, especially if you are representing a political party that was responsible for infringing on people's rights and just causing a lot of economic chaos and just physical damage to the majority of the citizens. So this is one of the reasons why we keep on asking, hey, are they showing any remorse? And this is one of the reasons why obviously the PF committee has to sit around the round table and just have these discussions, because a lot of their members are seemingly out of pocket. So this time around, right, they could have been having a very remorseful campaign all over Zambia, just apologizing to the people of Zambia and just saying, look, this is what we did and this is what we learned and this is how we're going to improve and be better. But what we're witnessing is it's just the same attitudes and the same demeanors. Nothing has changed. So this is one of the reasons why people like Andrew does agree with me. Okay, so we also have Amido Benson watching from Mazabuka, Bena Southern Province. Kabwata, support the government of the day, but if you follow democracy, do what you know. So this is a very interesting topic, right? Who are the Kabwata people going to support? And we have received some complaints from certain factions of society saying, look, President but it's the campaign etc. So it is an unfair advantage. Jesus, that was a tongue twister. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, sir? Good evening. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. It's good to see you, Mr. Nabuzoka. Is that a real name, or you're just combining, Namwanga names and Tonga names? Is that your real name, Nabuzoka?
Okay, it's a combination of Namwanga.
All right, so you're Namwanga and you want to ride off of the the Southern Province wave.
No,
you're just being charismatic.
You are talking too much. I'm not Namwanga. You are talking too much. I'm Ila.
Yeah, Ila.
Ila from Namwala, yes.
All right, I love my Ila people. No discrimination over here. So how are you doing? And what are your contributions to today's? Well, number one, because we're going to be going topic by topic. So let's just have this ceasefire type of session. So do you think PF is able to rebrand? What's your take? all right. Okay. It seems Nabuzoka has frozen. So Nabuzoka, sort out your internet issue, and then we're going to proceed with the discussion. To all the future would-be panelists, remember, when you come on this particular program, make sure you've got your internet ready, make sure you are prepared, and make sure you're sober. Okay, so Miss Mayova says nothing unfair about the president campaigning. It's politics. And yes, we did see President Edgar Lungu do the same things. You know, he was everywhere commissioning everything, you know, so that was some sort of low-key campaigning. But technically speaking, it's not really campaigning. Let's say, for example, he has a workshop or he needs to meet the marketeers in Kabwata, right? And he goes to see them. Technically speaking, it's not really campaigning because he's on duty. But of course, low-key, everybody knows that. Everybody knows and understands what he's trying to do. So, Siku, Muna, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Okay. Thank you very much for adding me. Hopefully everybody's okay.
Oh, we are lovely. So, what are your contributions? Is PF able to rebrand?
With the current leaders, the people that are in the forefront, on my perspective, I don't think so. And we've already seen how there's a bit of some disunity with I'll call it a rant that the acting president had during one of their meetings in terms of the MPs not showing up. You know, so we've seen that. And right now,
yeah,
they're
but
not.
Before you go on, Siku, why do you think the majority of PF MPs decided not to show up? Why? 15 out of 60 PF MPs decided not to show up for a meeting. Why do you think that is? And what does that entail?
First of all, rebranding. They talked about rebranding, and we are not seeing any form of rebranding. The same people who were in the forefront, the same people who were in charge of campaigns during elections are the same people that are holding on to positions. So, for example, the same acting president, who is Mr. Given Lubinda, played a huge role with the campaigns. You know, look at the people that are vying for presidential positions like Mr. Chimbaka Mbwidi. These are people that have run out of favor. You know, the public does not really like them because of the types of politics that they have shown us so far. You know, so confidence in the party is slowly dying down because it seems like rebranding is going to the same people that sunk the boat, for lack of a better term. So I feel a lot of people have got issues with the whole rebranding, and just we've seen of late how the current Secretary General was chosen, by a president who at that point had already submitted in a letter of resignation from active politics. So there are all these little things that are making things quite difficult for people that really want to rebrand the party and ensure that the party has new leadership. So I think that's one of the biggest challenge. People holding on to positions that other people, the younger people or majority of the Zambians don't like, and it seems like they are still dreaming that they are popular. And I think for me that's why most MPs didn't show up, because the rebranding process is taking long. The rebranding process is not going as planned.
Right. So, okay, let's move away from PF rebranding. Now, let's talk about this, because I really want to look at this particular discussion that we're about to have from a different angle. Let's say Kabwata decides to go green, and Kabwata empowers an MP, or rather elects somebody from the Patriotic Front. So what would that entail for the Zambian political landscape?
I think one thing that we have to understand is that at the moment, Patriotic Front still has the ability to bounce back into power. That is depending on how the UPND government will manage to gain the trust or keep the trust of the Zambian people. And of late, the UPND government, the New Dawn government, has been struggling tremendously to keep the confidence of the Zambian people. So Patriotic Front, they still have the numbers in parliament. They're still a popular party. We cannot, say they are not, and we cannot say that the Zambian people have totally distanced themselves from the Patriotic Front. So it is most likely, if the UPND does not play its cards right, the Patriotic Front can scoop Kabwata, depending on what message the UPND government, is giving to the people of Kabwata. Because at this point, there's only UPND and PF. DP issues, don't want to get into that. Socialist Party. Yeah, okay, Chilfatali is Chilfatali, he's Chilfatali. He's neither here nor there, so even as he's him trying to take the MP seat for Kabwata, for me, I don't see anything different from his previous attempts to be president, to be mayor, and whatnot. So Chilufatali is Chilufatali. It will be a big miracle if Chilufatali wins, and I think in the for me, who's a Christian, I think we'll be able to say, you can come from nothing and become something if that happens. But with his track record as well, he's an individual who has to show people that he's a serious politician. I think that's one thing that he is missing, people seeing him as a serious politician. So we're going to entertain him. I mean, we entertained Alex Mbiokera as a party president and the presidential candidate. So by that nature, Zambian people are accommodative. Even when we're like, we don't really support him, but we're going to support him. That's the thing.
Right.
Socialist. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, Socialist Party as well. For me, here's just my analysis. DP was had a good run, or was in a good place to succeed as the biggest opposition political party after the PF. Socialist Party has a bit of some chance, as well as Hamdu Duhaivi, PNUP, if I'm not mistaken, something like that, his political party. But then Hamdu Duhaivi, after elections, has toned down. Socialist Party, Fred Membe comes out more a bit on the offensive, and there's too much hate. As the Zambian people see hear a lot of hate anytime he gives out a speech. It's full of hate, and the Zambian people are not that type of people. So leaving the court to PF and UPND. So UPND has lost some of the confidence that the Zambian people had, because of the strong decisions that they have put up. So it's if PF wins, it's because UPND made it a bit easy for PF. But these are the two strong contenders, basically.
Right. So I really do not see the Patriotic Front winning, due to the fact that let's peel back the layers. The reasons why we're having by-elections in Kabwata is due to the fact that we had a very tragic event that happened. So prior to this, right, the UPND did legally scoop this particular seat, and obviously people are still connected to the UPND, and I really feel they're going to give them the sympathy vote. Because Zambians have got a tendency to do this. And I remember in 2016 when Michael Sata, may he so rest in peace, left us, right? People did continue supporting the Patriotic Front because they were so in love with Michael Sata. So I think this is also a similar situation with Kabwata, because Kabwata did actually belong to the UPND, and this is one of the reasons why 7 times out of 10 the city is going to go to the UPND, because of that sympathy vote. So even though their candidate right now is not really the strongest competitors out there, I mean, I took some time to listen to the man, and he doesn't really have that it factor. I always keep on talking about the it factor, the wow factor or something that can really mesmerize society, but it is what it is. He belongs to the UPND, and by default, the odds, are leaning towards him and the UPND. So this is one of the reasons why. Right, go on.
Yes, I do agree with you, and I do agree with you because when you look at the recent ward elections that recently we had last month, should be three or two. The UPND have scooped them and they've won, which is similar trends. A party in power in Zambia will always, have a greater advantage of winning that we cannot run away from. But like I said, remember, this is a party that now is losing popularity. This is a party now that's losing the Zambian people.
But
yes,
I wouldn't necessarily say they are losing popularity. They have done some questionable things, especially early on, because a lot of things that they're doing, they are quite bold for a political party that has been in opposition for about 20 years and they just recently got into power. So yes, I do agree. Some of the pronunciations and the things that they've done, they've been a little bit weird, if I can put it that way. But of course, looking at it from a greater perspective, these are the best moves that they had to do, and they don't really have any other ulterior motives but to genuinely bring in development, because obviously when you're trying to improve the situation, you have to be very honest and be very truthful and do what needs to be done. But of course, these are politics. People need to think about the next elections, etc. So I do understand they've got very unpopular decisions that could have angered the majority of Zambians, but I do feel they haven't really destroyed their reputations yet.
Yeah, I do agree. But the issue of the whole, when it comes to voting, let's look at the majority, who are the poor people, who are feeling the pain of some of the decisions, the bold decisions, people that don't understand the bold decisions. You understand somebody that's, for lack of a better term, is more educated than the person that's pushing a wheelbarrow, will understand why these measures are very important. But the guy that's pushing a wheelbarrow patch, Sokone or intercity bus station won't really understand why bus fare has increased. Won't really understand why millimil has increased. All they will see is pobai shila fia my guys fionse fiari kwela. That's all people are going to see and understand. Long-term goals, the majority of voters are not going to really understand all these things. And, as history says, when you look at prices increasing in terms of food commodities, there's always a revolution. There's always a change. We want somebody else to come because now, millimil is expensive for the ordinary Zambian. Transport is expensive, so all these are things that now the Zambian people are seeing. And for lack of also a better term, the UPND keeps on decampaigning itself with the lack of proper communication from the party.
That's a very great point. That's a very great point. I also feel the same. Lack of adequate information. And right now, I do understand. Sorry for cutting you off. Just hold on to your thoughts. We do have. Is it is it the deputy spokesperson? Please forgive me. Yes, him. Yes. So right now there is a little bit of conflict going on between Mrs. Kasanda and Kawano, because obviously if he does a lot, he's going to sort of overshadow the information minister. So there is obviously a little bit of conflict of interest, but at some point he's obviously just going to have to step up, because this is going to be costing their partnership with the UPND. So obviously better communication needs to be done. So would you say that if better communication was reinstated, that the UPND would obviously stand a better chance of correcting this trajectory they are currently heading into with regards to the confidence and the the favor of the people going towards them? Would you say communication would really play a greater role?
Yes. Communication will play a role. Communication will play a role. And here's the thing. I personally was happy that Mr. Kawana was elected, or rather appointed to be should be the deputy spokesperson and whatnot, from his party position to the government position, because I thought, okay, the Minister of Information currently is lacking. She's not sharp, because you really need somebody who's sharp. You really need somebody who's got a sharp tongue to give out information. But
yeah,
then
and quench the fire. Quench the fire. There's a lot of misinformation which is going on, and unfortunately the fire is not really being quenched, and the right appropriate information about certain things is not really being relayed to the people. Yeah, but anyway, go on. Sorry for interrupting you.
So I was really excited with that. I thought finally some sanity at the Ministry of Information, But then Mr. Kawana came out and, I don't know, for lack of a better term, thought Zambian people are still, from the Stone Age with the whole leaked audio. He did make a blunder on saying that is a fake recording, and there's been so many questions and whatnot, So his also communication skills, really needs to improve so that he does not rouse the Zambian people, because there was a lot of backlash about that, saying we can distinguish. Okay, we're not so far behind that we can't understand. If somebody was trying to impersonate and whatnot, and look at how that story of the leaked audio is now dying down or toning down with the situation, and because there is no proper conclusion to that matter, we still don't know if the president was involved. We haven't seen any action taken against Mr. Kafumba and the other gentleman, which most of the Zambians would have loved. I don't know if it's maybe because watching too many American movies or watching these other developed countries, once a scandal like that happens, you see people step down and say, okay, right now I'm going to step out of office until investigations are concluded, so that either my name is going to be what's the term? My name is going to be cleared, or I'm going to be found guilty. Yeah, we see people step down, but nothing of that has happened. They're trying to, sweep the incident as if it didn't happen. So these things are things that are causing the Zambian people to lose faith in this government, because one, we are now a more informed generation, a more informed people, So we understand this thing, and that's why we booted out the PF, because they were thinking if this guy comes and says South Africa bunga is actually more expensive than in Zambia, we won't understand the economics, and they were taking us for fools, So this is now where we're seeing this whole thing. People, young people, and even the older people are understanding more and are paying attention to details, and that's why I feel like most decisions, as well as the communication methods, are really working against them. Same thing, Zambezi, Lower Zambezi mining issue, the statement that has been given, yes, we understand this is a situation that was initiated by the PF, but we can properly communicate that, oh, okay, guys, we didn't have a hand in this, but what we're going to do is A, B, C, and D, And the communication as well has come in a bit late once the damage has already been done. If the communication came before people knew that the mining activities will start, maybe people would have, taken it a different type of way, So
exactly. So why do you think there's slow communication? Why is that a problem?
Personally, this is something that I've tried to think about multiple times. Maybe too many people are involved, too many pieces moving on. Maybe people don't really know their jobs. They're not really doing their jobs correctly, because the minister who was in charge of that situation right now, we're being made to believe it's the green economy minister that was tasked to ensure that. So that ministry, we don't know at this point. I'm starting to think, okay, they should have known before the statement was given that mining activity will commence, and they should have known to how the Zambian people will react to that, because this is not a new case. It's not a new case. So we can't come and say now we come back with the whole blaming PF. So ministers, personally, maybe I think ministers, permanent secretaries, whoever in these ministries are failing the president, because these are things that they have to be aware of. They will know, okay, this decision, what's the backlash? Are the people going to, be okay with it? What's the history of this? If it's taken 10 years just negotiating this whole process, what makes you think people are going to accept it now because the past 10 years they've, said no to it?
Right.
So for now, maybe the blame should be on the ministers and the controlling officers in these ministry departments.
Right. Thanks a lot, sick fellas. Just stay on the line. We're about to bring in Mr. Novuzuku in a short while. In the meantime, let me just take this opportunity to remind our viewers that you can really get to support Z Corner, your community TV station, by sharing this video. So to all the people watching me right now, to other people who can hear my voice, kindly take 1 second of your life, share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because we are having progressive discussions. We are not insulting anybody, and we're not really being controversial here. We're just having mature discussions. I really wish a lot of people can really support such type of content, because if you do not support such type of content, then there's going to be despicable things that are going to be low-key promoted by the people of Zambia. So make sure that you stand for integrity and intellectualism, support Z Corner, and also participate. So to all the people who really want to participate and be part of this particular live stream, kindly join using the link in the comment section below, which I'm going to be posting right now. So just click on the link and you're going to be able to have an interaction with us. So Mr. Novuzuku, Nabazoka, sorry for butchering your name. Welcome to the show. Unmute yourself. You are muted.
Thank you so very much.
Good. So ERB reduces fuel prices. What was your instinctive reaction? How did you react to this particular information?
Oh, so excited, that one kwacha, because I can imagine if it was that one kwacha up, it was going to be painful. So the way it has come, then we have enjoyed about it. But really, I wanted I wanted to communicate with my young brother, Bowman Lusambo. Is he gone?
I mean, we didn't have him. We're just playing the playback of one of the interviews that he did on Movie TV. But anyway, he does watch our episodes because we're always criticizing him. We've got a love-hate relationship with Honorable Bowman Lusambo, but we're his biggest fans, low-key. Anyway, go on with your contribution.
Well, about the fuel, that was good. We least expected. For me, it will go a long way. It will help many Zambians to probably stabilize under the circumstances. We really want to see more of it. We want by June, July, we want to start buying fuel at 14 kwacha, 15 or so, something like that.
Yeah, do you believe that could happen? Do you believe that could happen? Fuel kwacha, 14 kwacha per liter. Oh
yes, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, as long as the economic. Remember, the president assured us that his primary job is to fix the economy, and he's just been in the office for a few months. So we can't expect him to. You see, the damages was for 10 years. So for sure, we can't expect him to fix it in 2 days. So it will take a bit of time, but by April or so, I'm sure July, June, we'll start seeing the fruits of his works. He's really committed. We have faith in him, yes.
Definitely. So now let's talk about the controversial side of reducing the price of fuel. A lot of naysayers would say, this is a campaign tactic because they want to appease the masses and they just want to sort of, give UPND a good reputation. So let's talk about what happened prior to this. We had the removal of subsidies, right? So what was your opinion on the removal of subsidies before we go on?
Okay, the issues of subsidies were told PF was subsidizing. Probably I could believe because we saw towards the elections, the kwacha were losing control of the kwacha, but fuel remained at the price that it was not adjusted. And then you can believe that probably the government was, subsidizing the commodity. And then to reflect the real price, it's good, it's painful, but it's okay. And we want to believe to live our life, the real life, not to live a fake life. Because according to what we hear from the government, it's been there, it's been all over saying, look, we have removed the subsidies, we want to transfer this money to the schools and stuff like that. And we have seen how...
I want to hear your opinion, because you're giving me what they said. I want to hear your opinion as a citizen. That's why I'm asking you.
I am believing, because look, the students now, the schools are full. You can see the pupils are enjoying going back to school, and I was horrified myself to say, so it means all these were not going to school there before this. So I meant to believe.
You never know until you know. You never know until you know.
Unless you tell me to the contrary, my own opinion, I believe this is good.
Right. Okay, so Nabuzoka, the reason why I asked about the subsidies is so that the people of Zambia can understand why we had a sudden increase in the price of fuel. Now that we have established the reason why the price of fuel did go up, right? Would you agree if I had to say that the UPND New Dawn government is actually outperforming themselves, and they're actually doing a better job because, number one, they removed subsidies, the prices of fuel did increase, and then they made efforts and they did tactics, and they had to bring the price of fuel down. They had to find ways and means to reduce the price of fuel, even though they understood that increasing the prices would be uncomfortable. But they made an effort to reduce and lessen the burden for the majority of Zambians. Would you say this is really a very good economic indicator of the progress that we are bound to have in the future?
You see, for now, I don't want to be very judgmental. I want to give them a benefit of doubt. Look, they increased, they reduced. So let's see now the following trend, how it will be. If it will go up, then we'll start saying, what is this? If it will go down continuously, then we'll say, oh, probably they're working, they're doing a good job.
Right. So, do you think these types of miracles, and by the way, I'm not, I don't really mean to be sarcastic by saying miracles. Do you think this type of progress is going to continue going on, and how long, and how many tricks does the UPND have under their sleeves? Do you think this is going to continue happening? Because they are giving us a lot of marvels, a lot of things are just happening. The retirees are being paid on time, free education, reduction in fuel. I mean, a lot is happening. So how long do you think the UPND is going to be able to keep up?
Okay. I'll always rely on the promise they gave us. They told us these questions were made to the president, then in opposition. And he kept on saying, look, I'll stop corruption. And when I stop the leakages, then the money will be available. Probably we'll start believing that probably now the pilferage and stuff like that has reduced, and then money is made available to the Zambians. What do you think?
Oh, sorry. I got carried away. What was the question? Sleeping but duty. Sorry, I got carried away. What was the question?
So, yeah, that's the thing. We want to believe that this thing will continue as long as probably his promise. He promised that he's going to stop corruption, and it's corruption that the money was leaking out. So he's saying, "Look, I'll stop this, and the money will be made available to the Zambians." We want to believe that.
Definitely. And now that the many loopholes are being sealed, right? We are obviously seeing an increase in our coffers, and with an increment in our coffers, right, we can obviously be flexible to experiment and do other things. But let me just be a little bit let me be controversial, for lack of a better term. Personally, I would rather the government invest in money-making ventures. We've always been talking about factories that can really add value to the mineral resources that we have, because these types of pronouncements are not really going to be feasible in the long term because we're just spending money. But if we have factories where we can, let's say, add value to our gold, our copper, those are money-making ventures that are really going to be able to breathe more life into the economy instead of us always just coming up with these tactics to sort of find and source for funds, if I can put it that way. So I would be very happy if I start seeing progress with regards to purposefully building or rather creating ventures that are really going to be adding more value to the ways that we already make money. So this really means, coming up with factories that really, add value to the mineral resources, etc. To me, that would be more progressive long term, because you have to think about the long term. So long term, we're going to majorly improve and really benefit from such investments in comparison to just sort of spending money on all these people. And of course, I do understand, retirees need to be paid, and it's definitely time to do that because they haven't been paid for a very long period of time. So it is an expense that needed to be met. And hopefully in the future, once at least we get to clear a lot of these expenses, a lot of these pending expenses, we would be able to venture into those long-term investments that are really going to be beneficial for the long run.
Yes, you see, venture capital is the way forward. But you see, undertaking such magnitude of work, really, you need to plan and plan good. I'm sure you've heard that in Chibombo there is gold. They've sealed the area. No one is going there. We've heard Lufunsa. We've heard Mukushi. There is gold. And the famous Kasenseli and stuff like that. We want to believe that, look, the president, this government has been in office actually for 4 months. We want to believe that they are meticulously handling all issues before they can now start announcing to the public of the nation of Zambia and stuff like that. They want to tell us when they have planned, they've done everything. We want to give them this benefit of doubt. It's only 4 months. If it goes to 1 year, then we start, what is this? But for now, we want to believe that they are putting their house in order, they are doing the foundation and stuff like that. I was actually thrilled to see that the Chibombo gold that has been discovered there, actually it's under protection for now. So I don't think they've gone to slumber. They are actually putting the house in order, and they already come back to us. And this country, the way I say it will really be a boom. When we talk about how many of them do we have? We have in Mumbwa, we have in Chibombo, we have in Mukushi, we have in Rufunsa, we have Kasensedi. 5 of them, probably, I don't even know, maybe there could be some. With that in mind, we surely, that the question you are asking about going into investment and like just consuming, I think that would be the way forward. That's the question. That's the question I'm answering.
Yeah, definitely. And I understand. Right now, this has been a very repetitive song. We've got gold, we are blessed with all these natural wonders, a lot of water bodies, etc. But we do not really see the results. And I really believe now.
I can understand your apprehension and anxiety. You see, we are coming from a situation where really we were just mad with stories. Zambia was making international headlines for wrong reasons. Mukula. Nothing was happening. When you talk about Wapula, there is manganese there. People are just suffering nothing. I understand your frustration. It's also my frustration. But look, under the current situation, I think it makes sense for us.
How can we?
It is unreasonable for us to make unreasonable demand.
Right, but how can we increase the rate at which these, ventures could be done? Because we have a very bright president. He's been able to fund his businesses, his lifestyles, and he's been able to find the capital. So why can't we have the same rapidness with regards to making these investments? Because we're running out of time. Zambia is already more than 50 years already. Zambia is already too old. So why don't we expedite these ventures and make sure that we start working on them ASAP? Because to be honest, for me, all these pronouncements, I'm happy, but I'm not really moved. I'm not really swayed, because I am looking for the long term progressive things to start being worked on right now. So if we had certain things being worked on right now, I would be like, okay, cool. Zambia in the next 5 years is definitely going to be at a better place because we are making the investments now. So another question to that particular question that I just asked you, right? If there are any ventures that we're going to get into, let's say, for example, we don't have enough capital, what are we doing to change that particular situation? Because you also talked about venture capital, raising funds, etc. So besides donors, fusing in and just investing in the nation, we can also have other ways to raise capital. And this is unfortunately what I'm not really seeing from the new Dawn government. We're not really making those solid investments that are really going to set Zambia in a good place in the next, 5 to 10 years.
You see, the economic challenges of this nation are so just big. Look, the reserves are depleted. We have debt. We have people who haven't been paid benefits, lump sum for 10 years. So really to talk about probably the government to find money to start putting into this investment into these gold companies we are talking about, I tell you, we could be talking about again another 5-10 years. But for now, really to squeeze the government.
That should be the priority. I think that should be the priority. I think we cannot overlook our mineral resources, especially gold, because at this particular moment, right, Zambia is not really benefiting a lot from our mineral resources. So I think we should put priority on.
I like your first submission. Your first submission, you were like asking information from the government. I think that's what we need. Probably this government, this is where they are not doing good, communicating to us to say, look, where we are is here, what we have done is this and stuff like that. For now, I think it's 4 months, Muna, 4 months. They've been in government for 4 months. Really, we want to believe that they are doing their homework first. I think so.
Yeah, but would you say that the lack of communication and the slowness is due to the fact that they have been in opposition for a very long period of time, and right now they are being overburdened by the amount of overwhelming power that they have, and they're just becoming numb at this particular moment because they haven't been in this particular position and it's very hard for them to maneuver, and they are slowly adjusting. Would you say that is a reason why we're having these blunders and these misfortunate or rather unfortunate events happening?
Oh, really? You see what? I think lack of communication is the biggest problem we have right now. If the government was coming up to tell us exactly where they are, for me to start speculating that, okay, for example, start guessing that it's because
you're giving us your opinion. Yeah, giving us your opinion, not speculating. Your opinion, sir.
No, I'm not going to get that to take that route of saying no because they've been in opposition. Now they're numb, they can't do anything. But to tell you the truth, yes, we need more, but we have seen as well they've done quite a lot. Unless you are doubting.
I mean, well, for the little period of time that they've done, like substantially way more than what the PF did in their first, 5-6 years. That's for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So anyway, Brother Perry is coming in from Canada. Are you in Alberta? Welcome to the show. Happy New Year, by the way. It's been a long time.
Yeah, Happy New Year, my brother. How you doing?
We're good. Just trying to survive.
Right on. Now, survival is the key, man.
Definitely. So what are your contributions? So what would you love to handle? We've got a lot of topics. We've got PF rebranding. We've got, let's talk about this is a very good topic. I really want to talk about this. Let's talk about the political regional blocks of Zambia. I know this is a very controversial topic, but our viewers, I really believe our viewers are very sharp upstairs, and we're not really sensitive to such matters because by the end of the day, these are facts. Zambians have got a particular pattern with regards to how they behave and how they choose leaders. And, regions are, categorized into different blocks. And you have to play to those different odds and favors, just like any other thing, right? There are odds of getting things done. There are probabilities, etc. So I want to talk about the political regional blocks based on our history, based on our recent past, and based on our current status. So, Brother Perry, what do you think about the different regions that we have in Zambia, and how would you categorize the atmosphere in Zambia in terms of, our people and how we interact, how we choose leaders, etc.?
To begin with, that's a wonderful question, actually. And I've always been thinking about this as well. And after thinking about it, my resolve is that the mistake was made during Kaunda's time. And do you know why I say so? Right on the NRC, okay, you have Chief so and so and so. Right. That was very divisive. Okay, so those things should be should not even appear on the NRC, because I don't know what purpose they serve. They're just there to divide people. So if we didn't have that, we wouldn't tell that this person is from Western Province. When you look at the NRC, even if when you're applying for a job, somebody will look at you have to attach a copy of an NRC, right? They'll say, oh, this is Perry. Perry is from Western Province, No, we don't want anyone from Western Province. So as long as that thing continues being there, this will be a source of the division of that we're talking about. So that the NRC itself is dividing people. Okay, so because it's dividing people, people tend to look at. They have this proclivity of looking at their tribesmate as a brother or a sister. So if you apply for a job, they say, oh, this guy is Tonga like I am. Let me give him the job because we hail from the same province. So as long as those things are not addressed, these things are going to they'll keep on happening. But the good part is that the president is trying as well to, try to show people that we are one. But I feel that that's not enough, because what happens to the next guy, the next president, if the next president does not continue with that, then we are back to square one. So again, it's very difficult to stop this regionalism, because the damage that was done was so extensive.
And not only based on a political point of view, right? I mean, for example, if you talk about Lozis and Tongas, we call ourselves, tribal cousins. So even prior to 1964, our history based on our tribes has always bonded us more than other people. So certain tribes are bonding, or rather have got a stronger bond with a particular tribe in comparison to other tribes. It's more like in a family. In a family, you've got, your favorite cousins, you've got your favorite sisters, etc. So, and by the way, please do not misunderstand me. I'm not here promoting tribalism. We're just having this discussion because by the end of it all, there is tribal nepotism in Zambia. And anybody who's worked in any corporation, anybody who's interacted at any level, especially on an adult level, right, you would understand that tribal nepotism does play a key role. For example, Easterners, Bembas, etc. These tribal cousins type of sentiments do also affect us on a general perspective, if I can put it that way. So this is one of the reasons why we obviously saw the UPND, the New Dawn government, take their time to balance the cabinet so that everybody can feel included and there can be this inclusiveness. And just like Brother Perry talked about, right, obviously the fact that we've got a strong emphasis of, what tribe you represent, who your chief is, especially on our national documents, right? It does, and it will always affect us. But by the end of it all, a lot of Zambians wouldn't just want to get rid of their, culture and just say, we're just Zambians and, let's just abandon, let's say, for example, since I'm Lozi, let me abandon the Lozi culture, etc., because I'm one Zambia, one nation, because our history also lies in our culture, and we are so diverse and we are so very proud of our culture. So this is one of the reasons why it's very hard for us to obviously, just become one Zambia and, just have one culture. And it's also going to be a very difficult discussion to have, because what culture is going to be representing Zambia? Is it going to be the Lozi culture? Is it going to be the Bemba culture? The whichever culture etc. So by the end of it, this is one of the reasons why we just leave it as it is. But if we leave it as it is, right, there's obviously these regional blocks, etc., and people favor certain faces, certain names, etc. So, Brother Perry, would you say that the new Dawn government, or rather the Zambezi tribes, have been able to gain favor on the other end of Zambia? Let's say, for example, the UPND did manage to scoop a lot of seats in Eastern, Northern, and Luapula province, right? And we didn't see the same thing happen to the, to the Patriotic Front, which has got like a very strong base in the Luapula, Northern, and Eastern parts. They didn't really do very well in the Northwestern, Western provinces, and Southern provinces that we have. So would you say that, the UPND, which has got a strong base in the Western, Northern, Southern part of Zambia, do you think they've done a very great job convincing the other side of Zambia, even though we're still one Zambia, one nation?
No, they've not done a lot to convince them. It's just that today,
but they got better results. They got better results, comparatively speaking, than the PF got in their strongholds. No,
those results were not as a result of them being convinced. It was as a result of people getting more educated and knowing what they want. So at that point, HH provided a better alternative than any other person. So they wanted change. It's not that the Zambezi province convinced the other guys. No. So if let's say we had a better alternative than HH, UPND would not have done better in those places. So it's not about them convincing. It's just that people have become more educated, people have become more informed, and thus they are making very decisive decisions. They are making informed decisions. So for the betterment of the country, that's what I would say.
Right. So, Brother Perry, what's your contribution? I see Oscar joining, and I can also see Nabuzuko and some more other people. So, Brother Oscar, what do you think about regional, how can I even term that? Political regions, regional blocks in Zambia. What would you say? What's your opinion?
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Perry. Nabuzoka, good evening, all the viewers. Mr. Moon, I think if you can call it regionalism, I would say that it's normal. It's a normal thing. If HH was very strong in the southern province, there is nothing strange in that. It's just normal. Just like if there is a party, I don't know, the party of Chishimba Kambwili, if in the Copperbelt he had a lot of supporters, it was going to be a normal thing. It's natural. There is nothing strange in having having many supporters for HH in the southern province. I mean, the Mazoka who came from this area, he started the party from that area. There is nothing strange. So, but what we need, I think, to improve in our way of doing politics in Zambia is to start probably focusing on the promises that a party is giving and the way a party can keep those promises. 5 years is a short period of time, but in 5 years, a political party can really, really focus on maintaining the promises that they give to the people of Zambia during campaign, and if they can stick to those promises, I think the Zambians would really charge that political party or that member of parliament or that president as a genuine and a serious president. So for me, regionalism, I don't think there is anything strange What parties need to do to improve on is to give quality politics, not false politics. That's my opinion.
Definitely. So, Brother Leonard, what's your contribution? Regions, political blocks, etc. What's your opinion on this whole subject?
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, panelists. Brother Oscar, how are you? I think my take on this one, Brother Mona, is as Mr. Perry earlier on said, I think the whole problem came from the time of our founding father, David K. Kaunda, on the placing back of our chieftainship and the ABCD like that. But so far, yeah, we can say that the pushing behind of those chiefs, it has an issue as well. But at least Kaunda tried by all means to fight tribalism. An example that I can give is that it is through our founding father, Kenneth Kaunda, that we had Tongas being sent from the Tonga Legion sent to go and work to the northern, eastern, and eastern to the southern. That I think tried to balance tribalism by all means. And then running out from that, I've been glad with our youthhood. We haven't paid much attention to tribalism, though we have these senior who tried to bring it back, like the likes of Chimba Kamwiri, GBM, the so-called Professor Kandiluo, all those people. So I'll try by all means to say it's somehow trickily, because it's something that lots of people have grown up with in their mind, knowing that there is this. But if we start looking at issues on a bigger picture, say, despite what tribe we are one Zambia, one nation. Quite okay, it's going to be tough to have a certain region representing Zambia. The reason is simple, we've got 72 tribes confirmed, though we have more than that. So at the end of it, I think what I'll just prefer to say, we need in the near future again to have a president who's going to try by all means to unite us, forget about the tribal, forgetting about me being Lozi, Tonga, Nyanja, Bemba, and just get us as one and move forward just like that. When it comes to tribal balancing and tribal or regional development, or how we've been handling things, it's one thing that we can't run away. We've got in these different tribes, there are some people who've been principled because of their tribal and the way they do things. And then we've got others that have just been recklessly in the way they talk, act, or do other things. I think for now, I'll close for me to say it's a big issue, but we need the president to continue with the same route. The same way is going with this route. I hope in the near future that actually, point of correction, Brother Mon, I heard you saying the UPND scoop seats in the northern, in Wapula, they didn't have benefit. Let me just say in the uplands, these guys didn't win any seats, despite them being given the game market for the deal. But in Eastern,
I stand corrected. Thanks.
In Eastern, yes. I love how the Eastern people came out. They didn't care about anything like that. Quite okay, then the people from Northern, yeah, they also voted very well, though not giving these guys sitting MP, but the turnout was massive. And I know and pray to say, as we are going forward, we're going to have lots of more coming forward to say that we need our Zambia to be balanced.
Definitely. And cabinet balancing, or rather tribal balancing, is very important because Zambia is so diverse and everybody wants to feel included, inclusiveness. So this is one of the reasons why obviously people are going to be leaning towards people who are going to most likely represent them, because they're going to feel included in when it comes to governmental issues and these leadership affairs. So this is one of the reasons why it is very important for us to really be broad and think about everybody. Let's include everybody and not just focus on certain regions, etc. And then we saw this happen in the Patriotic Front, where a lot of tribes, or rather certain tribes, were given preferences. I mean, if we had to see the appointments, it was very clear and blatant. And this is one of the reasons why we should always neutralize and just balance up everything so that everybody can feel included. And a lot of people don't really have these topics because you can easily be labeled as a tribalist, and this is one of the reasons why people feel shy talking about these topics. But we need to talk about these things so that we can understand ourselves, and we can also be able to compete and do better. Because by the end of it all, right, let's say you've got a political party and you really want to expand, you should think about these things. Let's say, for example, there's a small political party. In order for you to expand and make an impact on a national level, you need to think about the regional blocks. You need to make sure that you've got people representing you, and you've got specific players in your political party who are going to be able to deliver and bring in those numbers. Because by the end of it all, people want to feel included. And one of the reasons why, or rather one of the ways that people can feel included, is if they are represented by allegedly people who come from the same area. That's just human instinct. That's just how the way that everything works. But the most important thing is cabinets and these governmental roles are supposed to be neutral, and they're supposed to be balanced. Anyway, gentlemen, the floor is open. You can talk about anything that you would love to handle. I can see Brother Navuzoka is definitely ready, so give us your opinions on anything. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm not very good at analyzing politics, but you see what I've got my own opinion about it. When you talk about HH making headways on the Copperbelt, Northern and Luapula, really it was because he sold himself very well. Look, correct. I think PF lost it on strategy. Look, you have a president who goes in an area where he didn't win, and he says, "Makamaka, you want no matter what you do, I'm going to be there." You still, at the end of the day, you still go to the same people and you expect them to give you vote. No, PF, they did this for themselves. They went and insulted the same people they want to vote. It can't work. Look, HH made a very good strategy. It all started with the NMC. He brought out everyone. It had a color of the nation, and that was the beginning. To tell you the truth, in 2006, if HH walks in Kasama, he was stoned there. He walks in, but look at the last elections. People are saying, no, HH didn't win in Luapula. HH won in Luapula. He just didn't get an MP. He won. He got quite sound results there. When you compare to 2006 to now, Hari Kalava yesterday made a very good analysis about HH. That look, it gives hope to everyone that if you work hard, you sell yourself for a long time, you remain resilient, you can still make it and become a president. This is the direction. It's nothing to do with he's lucky, what. The man was really there all the time.
Thank you. And Brother Navuzoka, I know, Perry, you want to chime in, right? I mean, we let's be realistic. We always keep on talking about the diverse tribes that we have, and mostly we're talking about the indigenous people. But of course, Zambia has got a lot of Zambians from different races, basically, but they are Zambians. They were born in Zambia. Their fathers and parents were born in Zambia, and they are also Zambian. Do you feel they are represented as much as all the other tribes that we have in Zambia? Because technically speaking, they don't really have any particular tribe, but they are Zambian. They are like really Zambian, And do you think they are very well represented? Anybody to handle that one? Right, Brother Perry, you can go for it.
Well, I think for now, representation should start by acknowledging that all tribes are equal. If we don't recognize that, then there's nothing that we're doing, because what makes the other tribes superior than the others? So the most important aspect is for us to believe that all the tribes are equal and they should be treated as such. So again, as I said, I have an issue of somebody putting a tribe on the NRC. That shouldn't be there. That should be removed. They can leave the chief, but remove the tribe from there, because that's the source of problem.
But if you've got a chief, you're going to easily find out the tribe. That's a very tough one, Brother Perry.
No. Here's the thing, though. Starting from the reg itself should be changed, because those are some of the things that are supposed to be embedded in it. Like it's the digital. When someone, when the police searches for something, that's when they will know that, oh, this guy is Bemba or not. But nobody else would know what tribe you are.
Are you willing to let go of your culture? Let's talk about Mutomboka ceremony. Kusefya pangwena, kuomboka. How do we solve that problem? If it's a very tough one, Brother Perry. How do we?
What I'm saying is that we are not supposed to abolish laws, but change the things that are easily disadvantage others. You apply for a job and then they see that you are, because right now it's okay in HH time. HH leaves, these problems are going to come back because we haven't resolved them.
Yes, but your name will always tell a story. Your name.
This is what I'm saying.
Unless we have ambiguous new names. Otherwise, if they see Mulenga, they know this one. Vakuma Northern Province. It's a very tough one.
The thing is that you won't see the results now, but our children will see the results.
But that also destroys our history.
No, we are not touching any history.
Okay, let's say, for example, we've got ambiguous names, right, where you can't tell which tribe BTC. The way our society is, we preserve our history using our names. We follow the patriotic, I don't know how to say this. Well, the father's lineage side.
Why did you put?
Okay, it's Sunguchaya, but anyway, the people know what I'm talking about.
Paternal something, I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, okay, basically your tribe, your name represents a history, and it tells your past as well.
But here's the thing, though. The culture is being diluted every day because people are intermarrying.
Yes,
can I come in on this one?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mona and Mr. Perry, if you look at my surname, can you guess what tribe I am?
Chiwala should be from the northern Luapula, Kuma area, northern Luapula area.
Brother Perry, try.
Yeah, I think I would say from the northern part.
Okay, so lots of people think that I'm from Central, which is Chief Chiwala, if you see that Chiwala. But in actual sense, I'm not Chiwala from Central Province or the Northern. I'm Chiwala from Eastern, Wangwafela. I'm a Chikunda by tribe.
Okay. Yeah, but along those areas, yeah.
So
okay.
So you've seen where the time bomb comes. So I think issues to do with doing away with the chiefs on the NRC. I think that's one thing which we say it's too late. It's too late to a point that that already have started. I think it's just an African something to do with Africans. I think so to say. Because even in Nigeria, you find the tribe that they call Igbo, what? But one thing that I would add, despite Yoruba, whatever, but away from that, Nigerians, those guys, they stand firm together and support each other wherever they go. So that's the spirit I would prefer Zambians to do. Or Rwandanese, if you look at Rwandanese. In Rwanda, there are two tribes, but if they come out in Zambia, you can't tell which one is it Tutu or what. They behave as if they all come from the same family. So I think we can try and say, oh, what we can, but the damage was already caused. But right now, what we should just edge is Let's first see it from these chiefs. If these chiefs start entertaining each other, a Bemba chief goes to southern, a southern chief goes to northwestern, to western, eastern. If these big fish, they start interacting, telling their people, say, guys, we are one, despite having these, I'm calling this time around Chifumpezeni, come and watch the Wengwa, the Tomboka ceremony, they call the Tonga chief to watch. Such interactions, yes, they might not cause that big impact to us who've already gone to see that, but in the next generation, they would cause an impact to see we are one. This is why our forefathers and chiefs have been they've been having these inter-ceremonial things. I think that would do going forward. If that can be considered, that would do.
Definitely. I do agree with you. And by the way, the word that I was failing to pronounce is this one. I still have trouble pronouncing it. Patriarchy. So basically a system or society or government in which the father or the oldest male is the head of the family and descent is reckoned through the male line. So basically lineage in Zambia is obviously on the male side. So even though we are intermixed via tribes, intermarriages, etc., but the kids always follow the lineage of the father because this is our system and this is our culture. And yes, we are so diverse, we're so mixed, but our system follows the lineage of the male parent. And this is basically what we go through in Zambia. So getting back to what I was trying to say is yes, we are all united, one Zambia, one nation. And even when Zambians are abroad, nobody really considers tribe. Even, for example, on the Copperbelt, like on the Copperbelt, nobody really considers tribe, etc. It's pretty much like that. But there are these tendencies do tend to get exhibited during, for example, voting, when people want to feel included, etc. This is when you see these things. It's not really prevalent in society, but there are certain situations where it does play a key role. It does affect you to some extent, but it does. We're not tribal. We're not a tribal people, and we always interact with anybody. It doesn't matter where you're from, what type of surname you have, but there are just certain instances where you could feel, like that is playing a role. And just like the gentleman on my panel earlier alluded to, obviously this is improving with the new Dawn government policy, and we're obviously seeing improvements because everybody's being included. Gentlemen, your additions.
Well, just to digress a little bit, I think you had mentioned something regarding the fuel. I was working on something else.
Yes. The ERB price increment of fuel.
What I just wanted to say regarding that is that that's a psychological decrease. The other day I went to gas up, put fuel in my car, and I spent like $100 to fill it up. That's 60 liters. So fuel in Canada right now, it's $1.50, $1.60. So the government is being clever in this way because what they are trying to do is reduce it, and then they'll increase it. And then when they do the increase, they'll say, but you see, when the price was low, we reduced it. Now we've increased it. So I feel that's not the right way of doing things, because they should just come around. If they want to increase, they just increase rather than playing with people's minds. That, trust me, they are going to increase it. That I know.
Yeah, it's bound to happen, because inflation is playing its key role. But obviously, just like we talked about with Mr. Navuzoka, the reason why we had that sudden price bump is because of the subsidy reduction that was implemented, and it was obviously inevitable. So based on that particular fact, right, we had now the real pricing of our fuel. So from that real pricing that we got, then there is this reduction, which is something plausible. This is something that I can, be proud of and at least celebrate. Yeah. So, gentlemen, let's give our conclusions. Whatever you want to handle, whatever topics you would love to quickly tackle as a panel, let's do it, and then we call it a night. So, who's gonna go first? you can just raise your hand if you want to go first, if you've got any things in particular that you would love to handle. So, Brother Leonard, go for it.
Before my battery dies, I think as Zambians, there is one province that I love the most. I love the way they behave, the way they support each other, the way they handle issues. People from the Copperbelt. If there's a place where a person will never feel excluded is in Copperbelt. They don't care what tribe you are,
Yes.
where you come from, where you go, as long as you are able to relate with them, the way they speak, behave, speak. I love the unity that comes from the Copperbelt, from the deep down of my heart. Those guys are not selective. I've been privileged to have stayed in Southern Province as a kid, came back to Lusaka. I've been to Luapula before, Chelenge Kashishi, came back, went to the Copperbelt, came back, Central Province, came back to Lusaka, went to Western, came back. Copperbelt, I found it to be the most easiest place to dwell in, as long as you are able to relate with those people. They don't care. An example I can give. Watch the Kopala guys, if they come up with a certain type of music, they are going to first support each other from the Copperbelt from the scratch. They'll push that to the country now to have it used. Watch the Kopala dances, they'll first support each other. Look at these guys who made noise recently, they called the Chandana K. The other one is Karaluka. You can't even know. They've never even come out to say, Kakaraluka Karia, so if a spirit that is in Copperbelt of unity and one love can be spread all over Zambia, then I believe Zambia would be a better place for our kids to live into the next generation. The spirit from the Copperbelt, I love it. And I've always said to myself, if there's ever a place I would choose to be given a person, where do you want to go and say, Copperbelt is the place that I would say, with or without argument. Copperbelt.
So, would you say that language does play a key role with regards to how people relate with one another? Because, you know, for example, me, I'm a bona fide lousy person. You know, like I'm real lousy, but my lousy is not really that good. And sometimes if I go to Western Province, etc., I just feel a little bit out of place because I can't really relate like that. And it's a little bit hard for me. But when people see me and they hear my name, they listen to you know, to my parents' histories, etc., I'm like full-fledged lousy. But when it comes to the language barrier, that's why I feel like, okay, but it's a little bit awkward just like that. So do you think Zambia deserves to have one language? And if we had one language, perhaps we would relate even way better on a national scale, because, you know, language does seclude people. So if we had to have one language, do you think that would improve?
No, I don't feel like we need to have one language. Language is nothing. Look at this one. If I look at Mr. Navuzog and say, this one is Tonga, I'm from Eastern, then if I bring in language, I'm destroying everything. In the Copperbelt, language has never been the factor, but the mentality and the mindset of the people from the Copperbelt has been the factor. This is what has built much love from the Copperbelt. They've never regarded a tribe. They've regarded themselves as how they communicate, the love they share for each other. Quite okay, people would say, quite okay, coffee, but segregate. Well, that's one thing. So I don't think tribal has much to play. If tribal has much to play, then the chiefs from the Copperbelt, they should be given thumbs up. Then they're the best in training their people, their indigenous people, than any of these other. Copperbelt is the first. Ask me to say which one would you give second. Maybe I would give these guys from the Eastern, because also it hasn't been that much though they have been. But Copperbelt, it's one province that needs to stand out alone. Lusaka, the owners of Lusaka, the Solis are not that generous. But Copperbelt
Yes, but you know the things that one of the major unifying factor that really keeps the Copperbelt people is the language. You know, for example, if you look at Copperbelt language, you know the Copperbelt Bemba, it's very different from the Luapula Bemba etc. There's that distinction. There's that, you know, the slurs, the jargons, the slang on the Copperbelt, you know, so that's a unifying factor that plays a role in it, with regards to bonding the people from the Copperbelt. I don't know. Leonard has obviously frozen. He was saying that his battery is low. Yeah, but anyway, gentlemen, whatever you want to talk about, let's conclude and call it a night.
Well, what I'll just say is that I'm from Western Province personally. My father is was Mbunda and my mother is Lozi, right? But I was born in the Southern Province. But I was raised from the Southern Province. I speak more Tonga than I speak my language, you know. So the issue of language is or tribe rather it's something that should bring us together, you know, and because if we're going to divide each other and say this one is Bemba, this one is Tonga, and then I can't relate, and it's here's I'll give you an example. Okay, you get two kids, one Bemba and one Tonga, and then put them together. Those kids will play without any problem. So why is it that they ask?
Okay, well, that's a slightly different. Scenario. Let's talk about your country. You're staying in Canada, right? Canada is divided between the English speaking and the French speaking.
Yes.
Do you feel the French speaking Canadians relate with the English speaking Canadians? Now, this is a very relatable question.
Yeah,
You're in the same region, you're in the same country, Canada, but it's divided. You know, French speaking and English speaking. So, what's the relation? Do you would you find it easy to settle in the French speaking part of Canada?
Well, here's the thing. I'll give you a practical example. I went to Montreal some time back, and I don't know how to speak French. But I'll learn it anyways. And I was busy. I was asking for directions in English, and then the French would just walk by. So what the difference in language between the French and English is palpable. You can see it. It's more severe than we it is in Zambia. Okay, because they have their own history about who should own what. But the issue mainly is with the old people. If you go to somebody younger, they'll try to help you. So even in Zambia, the issue of tribe is with the old folk. Those are the ones that are trying to, you know, make it an issue. But the younger guys, they're okay with it.
Yes, I agree. And I do agree with what you're saying. But what I'm trying to say is language plays a key role with relatability, because you're not going to have the same connection with a person who you can barely understand. That's just how it is. So Canada is a very good example, because if you look at the average and the majority of English-speaking Canadians, they cannot really relate to that higher level with the French-speaking Canadians because of the language barriers. When you've got language differences, even your cultures tend to, you know, divide, and things are a little bit different. So that's just how things are. That's just the natural nature way of doing things. This is just what happens. So these things play a key role in you know, how people relate with one another. So yes, we want everybody to be united, we want everybody to get along, etc., but we've got these cultural language barriers between us that really sort of you know, play a role with how we interact with one another. That's just how it is. That's a fact. Yeah. So anyway, moving away from that,
Okay.
because now we're
Can I also conclude?
Nabuzoka. Yeah, sure.
Can I also conclude? Yeah, the issue of tribe, sometimes it gives me headache. When I look at myself, I don't know. I call myself Ila. I don't think so. Look, my mother is Soli. My mother is Lozi. That's why I have Nyambe as my middle name. My father is Tonga, is Ila, is Kaonde. That's why I've got Kampengere as one of my names. So really, I look at my children. It's something else. It's a rainbow. Now, let me conclude with the issue of regionalism. Let me tell you, in Zambia, this issue of tribe just started 10 years ago. It was not there. It's a new phenomenon. It has never existed in Zambia. Kaunda did a very good job about it. We can just learn, we can just take after him and continue on his path. Now, I tell you the truth. If PF today rebrand for sure. Rebranding, it means a lot of people have to rebrand. Chishimba has to rebrand. Abandon his way of campaigning. People like Nakachinda, they need to rebrand, not to rebrand to get new ways of corruption, to rebrand so that you can sell yourself and be sold. Otherwise, it will be a product that can be sold, that can be eaten. They can get a seat, I can tell you the truth, in Southern Province, in the Northwestern. They can get a seat. The path of insulting others and expect them to vote for you, that one is not going to work. HH has scored on that one. He's been scandalized. He goes there humbly, request for votes. He's gotten what he wanted. Today is a president. So when you talk about rebranding, really, Chichimba has to rebrand. Bowman has to rebrand. Arrogance, pomposity should come down. People don't want arrogance. You see, when you are becoming arrogant, people detest that. They don't like it. So they should really get a seat. They can get a seat in Southern Province if they can just change the way of doing things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and have a great night. Brother Perry, your conclusion.
Well, I think I just wanted to add on what he said about the PF rebranding, though I'm digressing a little bit. I think that they haven't taken time to really understand what that word means, because you can't rebrand with the same ideologies, the same plans and everything. It has to be an overhaul, a complete overhaul of the systems and procedures. So it's just a matter of time when we will learn what the outcome is going to be. But I really fear for the PF. I think if these guys are not careful, it's going to go into extinction.
All right, and then your conclusion?
Well,
about anything, basically.
Well, in conclusion, I'll just say we are all one people. Let's just live as one, love one another, and help each other and support each other. And one Zambia, one nation, right? One nation, one Zambia. So that's what it is.
Definitely. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was our discussion for tonight. You have been awesome. Thank you very much for giving us all your contributions, all your questions. And I just want to say thank you to all my panelists. I just want to say thank you for being part of us, even though Brother Navuzoka is always fidgeting. When he's online, he's always fidgeting for some reason. You make our viewers sort of lethargic when you're moving around. Obviously, you were a problematic kid. I remember. I'm sure you couldn't sit tight. But anyhow, I digress. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of Z Corner. I really appreciate all the support that you have been giving us. Of course, we did lose a little bit of momentum because we were a little bit reluctant, December, January, but we are back. And in April, May, we're going to be, in Zambia, background, because a lot of people have been saying, you guys are just vocal on social media. We'll show you that, no, we're actually going to be in your midst, and we're going to be conducting these, workshops and all the progressive things that we have for Zambia. And at this particular moment, we are onboarding, sponsors and, just powerful people who would be part of our program and all the amazing things that we're going to be doing. So ZCon is going to be expanding to the nearest city close to you, and we're going to be able to, you know, take our skills and our knowledge to the everyday common Zambian, so that everybody can have, you know, this particular privilege to just be able to benefit from the amazing things that we're going to be able to do. And we have a lot of value addition that we're going to be, you know, conducting, and we definitely need to do this, because if we are not going to be able to add value to Zambia as Zambians, especially us the youthful ones, then who else is going to do that? We expect Chinese people to come and develop Zambia. So this is one of the reasons why, you know, we decided, look, the diasporans need to find time to go back to Zambia, add their value, and then go back and do their things, and always, you know, make these migration trips and just add value, go back to what they usually do in their respective countries, but always remember to contribute to Zambia, because we are the only people that we have, you know. So as much as we are in other countries, we need to get back to Zambia, add value, make an impact, and then, you know, just improve Zambia. So this is one of the reasons why we are definitely going to be coming background. We're going to be background, and we're going to be making impact as ZCon. So thank you very much. Have a great night. Continue supporting us, and talk to you probably tomorrow. Good night.
All right, good night.